The thoughts, opinions, and general overall shades thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us.
And no, I didn't want to see that, you know?
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Good morning, everybody. That's right. It is Wednesday, March 12th. And you know what I'm saying? Shout out to sticking things in places and apparently or whatnot.
Jesus Christ.
That's right.
It's too early.
Today,
arm exam.
Speaking of sticking things in places, today is National Working Moms Day.
Hey.
Yeah. Jason, this is your annual.
I think it's time to go to the strip club, Rico.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This is your annual heads up to give props to the strippers out there, right?
Mm-hmm. We support single moms, bro. Support single moms.
Wow.
It's also National Registered Dietitian Nutritionalist Day.
I thought that was going somewhere completely different.
Take care of that gut health.
Hold on, we're coming back around to that part that you were requesting, Sohum, because today is also National Baked Scallops Day. It's National Baked Scallops Day, Sohum.
All right.
Mm-hmm. I don't make this shit up, bro. This shit is
you know. In my head that ain't making connections.
Yeah. It's also National Plant a Flower Day, you guys.
No.
I'm gonna plant some flowers today.
I'm gonna smoke some flowers.
I'm gonna pick some and burn them up. How about that?
And then it's also National Girl Scout Day today.
I got some cookies last week, man, and they're already gone. I got 4 boxes. Smashed them.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things. I think Girl Scout cookies are gonna have to reformulate all of their recipes because I think RFK is banning a lot of their ingredients.
Oh boy.
It's not all, man. Yeah, he's promoting this measles outbreak too. Shout out to 200 kids in Texas.
You know, have you ever seen the commercials from like the 60s and 70s when it was about the measles, like on the Brady Bunch when they're like, oh yeah, you got the measles, you get to stay home from school, da 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 da. You know, it wasn't a big thing.
You know what's crazy? It took 4 decades to eradicate measles, and it was 2004 when they said that it was gone, and all it took was, a couple of years, and it's back, baby, just like America.
It's also National Equal Pay Day.
That one's actually not correct because Omar brought that up on the last episode he was on. That day moves that day moves every year to say how long
on my calendar
has to work for it to be the same.
On my calendar. On my calendar, that's what it says.
I understand what it says on Twitch.
So, and both of you guys to the left about 6 inches, please.
We're gonna do that. You got to give us a second, bro. We're getting there.
Jason is bong burgundy. Jenny Beth, he reads whatever's in front of him.
Yeah, I got you.
You guys are funny. Thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above and down below to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, X, Instagram, Facebook, Kick, as well as on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So welcome to everyone joining us from any one of those platforms. And we are going to kick this thing off with the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte, the Quasimodo caretaker who happens to be out in the great NYC trying to hang out with Kathy Hochul today. That's right, it is the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte.
Wait, Kathy or Mayor Adams?
Kathy Hochul. He's trying to. You know what I'm saying? Kathy Hochul for sure.
I gotta stay mum about Mayor Adams, but I did get a call from his office.
See what I'm saying? Exactly. See, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing over here.
Mayor Adams is 100% outside. Mm-hmm. He is in these streets. He's trying to kick it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I'm pretty sure he's celebrating one of the days that Jason mentioned earlier.
One of them, single moms.
Single moms. We love. Everyone should love single moms.
Hey, Matt.
Oh man. Anyways, my story today is not about the Empire State. It's about the great state of California. And according to Kim Kemp of the Red-Headed Black Belt, the state of California is considering a ban on allowing medical cannabis for workers' comp recipients. The news was first circulated by California Normal in a press release saying that the regulation would prohibit workers' compensation recipients from using medical cannabis for chronic pain treatment. The California Division of Workers' Compensation will hold a hearing on the proposal on March 14th. Advocates, including Cal Normal, strongly oppose the rule, arguing it contradicts scientific evidence showing cannabis effectively treats chronic pain and reduces opioid use. The rule is based on a report by the American College of Occupational and Environmental Medicine, ACOEM, which critics say overlooks extensive research and has ties to insurance and drug testing companies. Other states already allow workers' comp coverage for cannabis, and studies suggest it improves treatment outcomes. Opponents urge California to support medical cannabis rather than restrict access. Another step forward and 3 steps back for progress in the great golden state of California under the great, excellent leadership of Gavin Newsom, who is trying his best to just be a corporatist these days. And I get it. So I'm going to kick it back. I want to hear Dale's take on this one and how we can defeat this, because it is absolute bullshit. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street. Live on a rooftop somewhere in New York City. High News.
This gets complicated, guys, because the biggest insurer for work comp in California is a state fund, the State Compensation Insurance Fund. Now you get into insurance payments where it's federally illegal, and it gets complicated. But we all know the outcomes are better when you use cannabis. You get off of opioids and, like amitriptyline and other sleep medicines and anxiety medicines. We know it works. But I always watch the politics in Sacramento, and when you get done vomiting, watching these dumb fucks, you start seeing who's got power, where's money going, because that's how these decisions ultimately get made. And I'm curious. I don't want to see it happen. I support knocking this thing out. But, Newsom's trying to run for president already, so you never know what tact he's going to take on this. And I don't know how popular it turns out to be. But I think a lot of people recognize that smoking weed is not only better and safer than drinking alcohol, but easier to deal with than opioids, psychotropics, Adderall. I mean, there's so many things that it's better than. So let's hope that it actually works.
I think that's all fair. Who's the main sponsor? Who's the one that's really pushing this? Rico, did it say who's really behind this? Because we know it's one of these goon squads.
Let's see. California. It says California cannabis consumer. This is from the official press release I'm reading right now. California cannabis consumer and medical marijuana advocates are opposing a proposed regulation by the California Division of Workers' Compensation. So
it's the California Division of Workers' Compensation who is advocating for this and telling the legislature, hey, we need to remove cannabis from here. So yep. It's not like it's some member of the assembly or whatnot that's like came up with some great idea and is pushing it yet. They're trying to find a sponsor to sponsor this.
Yeah, well, here it is, right? Yeah, it's a regulation they're pushing.
Guys, which agencies did we put out for public comment?
So. They're pushing forward, and everything that in their recommendation is based on a report by the American College of Occupational Environmental Medicine, who is strongly backed by big insurance and drug testing companies. and conflicts with a comprehensive expert review by the National Academy of Sciences, which concluded that there is indeed substantial evidence that cannabis is an effective treatment for chronic pain and adults. So the link in there that they have about their ties. Oh wow, this is actually a file in there. But there's a bunch of big insurance companies, man. Big insurance companies, and then big drug testing companies as well. Like they're all behind this report that they did, or this study that they did. Is absolute bullshit. Kaiser Health is behind this too.
Of course they are. Of course Kaiser is. Oh man,
they don't have to pay for it.
Exactly.
And these groups are making enough money. They're down at the Capitol, knocking on doors, spreading their cash around, trying to stop this stuff. And it defies science and logic. We all know that. It's the real politique you got to deal with, especially like in California, where you got money, you got hookups, you're going to get shit done, or you're going to stop shit. And we'll have to see. Newsom could stop this, and he might. He thinks it's going to be beneficial to him, but he's a chameleon right now. We'll have to watch and see what he does.
I think this issue is going to continue to come up, not just in California and other states, and potentially federally as well. And I think it's extremely related to the issue of DWAI with cannabis. And it's once we can address this issue of actually being able to test for true impairment from cannabis and not just the presence of metabolites in the body, then we'll be able to kind of solve all of these problems together. Then you won't have as much of an issue with insurance companies or insurance regulators or drug testing companies that are pushing for this type of regulation or legislation.
Newsom is they're trying to recall Newsom again now, and
a waste of fucking money.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think whatever. Jason. I think that until the quote unquote cannabis bloc shows themselves as a actual fearsome voting bloc, like he doesn't give a shit what we say. He doesn't give a shit about what we think. Like we're not donating to him or his campaigns. We're not showing up in numbers anymore like we used to back in 2017, 2018. So I really don't know what's going to move the needle in his direction to be pro-cannabis, because yes, he is 100% chameleon, 100% through and through a politician. And he's only going to do what puts money in his coffers and get him back in office.
Which is why he has.
And Jason, let me clarify why.
Hold on, say that again, Jenny. Hold on. Say that again, Jenny.
Oh, my bad.
Why he owns a portion of cultivations up in the watershed, but hey, none of my business, right?
And that's fair point. Go ahead, Sohum.
I was going to say, my point about it being a waste of money to try and recall him again is not that I think he's the greatest governor ever. It's just that last time they tried it, it was such an epic failure. It's a waste of time and money to continue doing that. That's all I'm saying.
No, it actually wasn't. And that might have been your perspective from your woke news outlets over there in Austin, Texas. But I thought it was
80%. 80%.
I was still living in Long Beach during that.
You were not living in Long Beach. Stop the cap, bro. Stop the cap.
I was living in Belmont Shore. What are you talking about?
I remember Jason was trying to convince me that Larry Elder was a formidable candidate.
He's better than Newsom. Newsom.
Now he's trying to convince me of where I was living at the time.
Go for it, Dale.
I was the attorney for one of those candidates. Okay. I was up to my eyeballs in it, and they got the shit kicked out of them. Okay. Let's just be blunt, because people were not going to do this for all the nonsensical, stupid reasons they want to do it. It wasn't Gray Davis. Gray Davis got booted, and Schwarzenegger came in. Don't get that energy out of what's going on now. And I'm on the board of directors of the Brownie Mary Democrats, okay? And these guys have trouble finding their ass with both hands.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
The movement just isn't a lot that goes to the legislature, the governor, that they take seriously. I mean, you got to go in there and kick some shit out of people at some point, or no one takes you seriously.
Exactly.
I don't see that dynamic happening right now.
Exactly. And
what was that? I want Jackie McGowan to run again. How about that?
I ran her campaign.
Please don't say that name 3 times.
Yeah, and it was we can use the term disaster.
Yeah.
But getting your ass kicked was right at the top of the list. You got the shit stomped out of you. Everybody that ran, And it's like, why are you doing this? You're just going to do it for a Pyrrhic victory because we ran against him? No, that's like, we'll take a loss just for ideological reasons. Yeah, but you still fucking lost. So it's pretty stupid to take one for the team if you lose.
She has some great sound bites, though.
Coming up on this election, there is a petition floating around Los Angeles to recall Mayor Karen Bass, and yesterday Katie Porter announced that she's going to make a run for governor. Here in California.
But also, she also said that she's going to bow down if Kamala Harris says that she's going to run. Like, that's some bullshit, man.
Katie Porter is terrible.
If these Democrats want to gain any kind of traction against these MAGA Republicans, they need to go against each other. They need to go against the status quo. Get some new faces in there. Get some new ideas in there. Because it's obvious that, I'm gonna be a little partisan when I say this because I am nonpartisan, but because we need an alternative to a bunch of the self-serving people on the right, and then everybody on the left right now, like, you have no fucking message. You just want to go with the status quo, which isn't fucking working. So like, who are people going to choose going forward? It needs to be somebody different. Period.
Well, speaking of someone different, Steve Hilton is going to be running on the Republican side of the ticket.
Why not Paris?
Stop it! Stop the ridiculousness. You're getting crazy now.
Out there.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Donald Trump is president. Nothing is ridiculous.
Yeah, we're going to a commercial and we're going to be right back.
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, my left one, But I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade, and in a GMP certified facility, so you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where am I even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Tested. It's not a name, it's a promise.
I don't read right-wing,
Oh, and we are back, Rico. We are back.
Like we left something. Jason loves just like cut to something else when he's getting broken down, but that's
never.
That's okay. This is why we call him the Sultan of Spin. And here to spin us off with our second story of the day is the High 9 News head honcho, known philanderer, and the man who bends no knees for anybody except for his Lord God Trump. Jason Beck.
God, here we go.
And Daddy Melon.
I'm disabled, bro. I don't know why you guys expected me to bend knees, whatnot. It's kind of, what I mean, out of context.
Yeah, it sounds like woke DEI snowflake.
You guys always trying to get the disabled people to do stuff that they're, what I'm saying, is difficult.
Oh my God.
I don't know, but we're ending
excuses.
DEI, right?
Yeah, quit making excuses.
Disabled has no part of DEI, just so you know.
Yes, it absolutely does. Yes, absolutely does.
No, it's not. The DEI that stands for diversity, not disability. Nice try. Nice try, guys.
Actually, Jason.
No, it's not.
DEIA, actually.
No, it's
yes,
not.
It is.
No. All right. Nonetheless, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, you guys. It's happy Hemp Day. I have 2 hemp stories for you guys today because it's Hemp Day. Because that's right. We've been talking about Governor Newsom, Newsom is quietly making moves to extend his polarizing ban on hemp THC in California, you guys. That's right. Hemp products like THC seltzers that Rico loves so much will likely remain illegal in California through the spring after Governor Gavin Newsom's administration quietly moved to extend his emergency ban on hemp last week. That's right. Hemp THC products have swept the country since 2018 when Congress legalized the intoxicating drugs made out of a variety of cannabis plants. They're sold online and at liquor stores and grocery retailers in dozens of states, and they have become an increasingly common sight in California. Last fall, Newsom issued an emergency order to block their sale, and Newsom's ban on hemp was set to expire at the end of the month. And it wasn't clear what his plan was, and his office did not return a call to SF Gates' request back in January asking if he would extend the ban. The answer came on March 6th when the California Department of Public Health filed a notice to extend the ban. If the Office of Administrative Law approves the readoption, it will last 90 more days, extending the ban until late June. The emergency ban can be extended a maximum of 2 times, according to the Office of the Administrative Law, and Newsom has said the products must be banned because they lack safety regulations and are sold in corner stores where underage people can access them. The hemp market is also a major business threat to California state-regulated cannabis businesses, which face significantly higher regulatory and tax costs compared to the lightly regulated hemp industry. Well, I mean, they're not saying anything about the trap market in that, but nonetheless. California's struggling pot industry has also heavily lobbied for the state to ban these products. Hemp companies face few, if any, regulations and can offer intoxicating cannabis products at a fraction of the cost compared with legal marijuana businesses, which must pay a significant taxes and fees, you guys. Newsom has played an outsized role in developing those state regulations and fees for legal marijuana companies. And on the other hand, hemp companies have accused Newsom of breaking the law with his hemp ban, filing a lawsuit against the state alleging that the ban broke the state's own emergency rules. A court shut down that lawsuit back in October, you guys. Well, I wonder if Governor Newsom is going to have any hemp producers or marijuana producers on his new podcast, since he's trying to have diverse opinions and whatnot, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Sounds like he needs to get Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick from Texas on there, because this is something they seem to agree on, banning intoxicating hemp products.
Yeah. I mean, but Gavin's just doing this all for stage and for show and trying to act like he's throwing a bone to the cannabis industry when he's really not.
Well, let's not act like that's not where the pressure's coming from, right? It's regulated operators making a big stink and saying, hey, this is bullshit. Our barrier to entry is higher. My cost of production is higher. Do something about it if you're going to tax us the way you do. So let's not act like we didn't do a story about those operators pushing for those products to be banned.
Well, at the same time, I think it'd be a lot easier if they just passed some type of legislation like what Ohio is proposing, as far as making all hemp products only available to be sold in cannabis licensed stores. That would make a lot more sense instead of just this outright ban, because the ban is not stopping anybody from procuring these things.
No, it definitely wouldn't change anything, because if I'm looking at this, if I'm not a fucking retailer, if I'm looking at this from a manufacturing and a brand standpoint, yeah, I'm still paying $30-something thousand a year for my renewals at a city level, and then my state renewals, and then my everything else, and so on and so forth. And yeah, it's still not going to make it equal or change it or take the problem away for those guys, because they're the ones who are, having to fucking sell a product that's much higher priced and has a higher barrier to entry. So I don't think if you take your face off of the retail portion, Jason, it doesn't matter.
I think, honestly, what they need to do, this is about...
There's a bigger dynamic going on here.
Go for it, Dale.
And Jason said we need to go back to the legislature. You have to have what we call enabling statutes that allow administrative agencies to promulgate regulations, and there's a limit to what the governor can do by executive authority. Well, this is the same fight they're having in Washington, D.C. Does the Congress have to pass something? What's an administrative agency allowed to do? What can the president do by executive order? So be careful what you say, because ultimately Congress and the legislature have to pass laws. When they pass them, what can be done to deal with those laws? And this is the same pissing match we're having over closing USAID down and the Department of Education. You're going to see this play out. I don't think the governor has the power to do this. Okay, I think the legislature has to give them enabling authority, pass regulations to do it. Okay, but when you say that, just be aware that that's a transferable argument to the federal government.
I get it. I'm not worried about all that, Dale, but I love that perspective. I'm not too worried about all that in regards.
Well, it doesn't matter whether you're worried or not.
Yeah.
Because I think Trump's going to have to go back to Congress, where those guys can't do shit if their life depended on it.
Well, we just got
deal with some of this stuff.
We just got the budget passed, so we're obviously getting something done.
Oh, please. What, a continuing resolution? They ain't no fucking budget.
That's what, a month? That's valid for a month?
Yeah, but we got Doge in there.
Yeah,
I mean, doggy.
I'm not taking that bait. Back to the story though. I think really if consumer safety and public safety is their concern, at least superficially, then they should use that as what they want to go after. Start creating rules for how hemp products are tested, what labs have to go through, get certified to be able to test those products. And that'll tighten up that market quite a lot. Because
they're so good at doing it already in the regulated market, right, Sohum?
Okay, I mean, that's a separate question. But I guess my point is I have more faith in them potentially rewriting testing rules for a separate market than trying to go in and clean up what's already been done under Prop 64.
Mm-hmm.
Jason loves moving the goalposts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But not the chair over. It's ironic.
I did move the chair over.
He moonlights down at LAFC Stadium, moving their goals around for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys, man.
Shout out to the suit.
Yes.
Jason needs to move to his left. Share the stage, please. It's International Women's Month.
Jason, move to the left.
I did move. I did move. I moved as far to the left as I possibly can with still being able to read my prompter. So, just whatever, you guys can kick rocks, whatever.
You need to listen to Beyonce.
Oh,
to the left, to the left.
To the left. Yeah. Cute, you
it's
guys.
It's okay. We'll put Jason in a box to the left soon enough.
Yes.
Right.
Well, speaking of to the left, whatnot, we're going to roll right into attorney at law, Mr. Dale Schafer. Dale has been an attorney since the Reagan administration. He's represented physicians, hospitals, insurance companies, cops, corrections officers, and for the last 25 years, he's specialized in cannabis law. He served a 5-year federal prison sentence for helping medical marijuana patients and managed to still save his law license. He's blunt. He doesn't smoke them. He's honest, unconcerned with public opinions and especially yours, and will show you how to defy gravity by pissing up a rope. That's right. It is none other than your favorite T.O. Loco, and you can now find him at his own law office at the law office of Dale Schafer. It is attorney at law, Mr. Dale Schafer.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's your favorite crazy wood T.O. Loco out here. My story today comes out of MJ Biz Daily, and this story is a cautionary tale that I want to put out there for people because this is a mess, okay? The headline is Cannabis Store Owner Owes $930,000 in back taxes, the indictment said. There's a couple of things here that should make your butt pucker up a little bit. First of all, last entity you want to fuck with are the tax people, okay? Let's just start there. And it says indictment. Now, I have a lot of clients who have had some tax trouble in their day. And one of the first moves I make when someone wants me to help them set a company up is I send them to an accountant who specializes in cannabis law, and we build around that so you make sure you pay your taxes. Because in California, they don't come take your weed, they show up and take your money. Okay? In California, we don't indict you. Now, the interesting thing about this is this business is in Washington, D.C. And guess what? It ain't a state, that's the federal government. And weed's illegal under the federal government. So we got the U.S. attorney saying, we indicted your ass. We'll come take all your money, but you're facing prison time. Typically doesn't work that way out in the States. They want their money. They'll give you time to pay. If you don't, they come take your shit. But what I'm reading from this is that this is what we call an LLC. I typically do C corporations so that I don't care if you own all the stock. If they're going to do something to that corporation, it's not on you. But if it's an LLC and you're the sole owner, the sole member, this is what we call a pass-through. Everything it makes and everything it loses is on you. And it says that they should have declared the income on a 1099. Well, that tells me that you're not an employee, you're owning it. So your income comes in by 1099, which I don't recommend you do. And then they had a bunch of employees and they didn't pay the employee taxes. That's one of those, like, if you're thinking about doing this, my response is, I ain't going to be your lawyer, you dumbass. You better pay these taxes because they'll come after you for that. cautionary tale here is that if you're going to get into the cannabis industry, don't do this with your head in the clouds or your head up your ass. You'd better be thinking. And especially if you're someplace where the federal government comes in to do something to you, you better have a plan, and you better pay your taxes and be prepared to have a tax attorney or accountant go in and strap it on and deal with this stuff. My advice is don't play around with this because there's no margins in this. They take all your money for taxes and regulations. Just if you're not planning on that, it's like don't go to a casino unless you're ready to lose the money. If you're going to get into this industry, you better be ready to lose some money. And if you lose money because you're stupid or you don't get the right advice, or even if you do get the right advice, you don't pay attention to it, and don't get into this business. This is tricky stuff. And it's one thing to have them show up and take all the cash from your business. It's something else to have them show up, tell you you're under arrest, put your hands behind your back, and you're facing years in prison. Mm-hmm. We thought we had enough trouble just hanging around weed. I mean, I got spanked for 5 years for doing basically nothing about weed. I'm just telling you, prison ain't a good place to go. It's just not a good place to be. So be careful. I'm going to throw this back at you guys for your comment. And what do you think about this?
You know, Dale, the craziest part about this, so this woman, Jennifer Brunenkant, she is the one who was leading the big lawsuit against all of the DC trap shops. So she was the one that was... Right? Yeah, right? She was a little bit of a target there. So it's probably run a little deeper than what the surface headlines are telling us right here.
It's like somebody knows somebody, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe she was...
hook you up. And I started asking questions.
Maybe she got a tax bill.
Started asking questions. How did this happen? You think it's politics, dude. It's like what Trump complained about. You know, a lot of politics went into going after him, and people don't like him. You back up a little bit, and why? You know, if it's not just you're going to get someone blast you on social media, they're going to take your ass away in handcuffs, and you're looking at a spork for years. It's crazy.
Yep.
Man, so, yeah.
Rob Blagojevich.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if she's like she was raising the big funk trying to get these guys knocked out, because she was like, if I'm going down, I'm taking all y'all motherfuckers with me.
Oh, we've seen how that play out a few times already.
Right.
Well, I'm just telling you, as someone who's been inside, if you're coming inside with a history of running your mouth, life can go real tough for you inside the joint. Be careful.
That's right. You end up going and getting in that PC ward. You know what I'm saying?
Stitches need stitches. That's the motto.
What were you going to say, Sohum?
I mean, I was just gonna say that there's one thing you don't want to do, and that's fuck with the IRS. That's
well, they're about to be gone. They're not even about to be a thing anymore. Who even cares about them?
Keep on thinking that. Yeah, keep on thinking that. Even though they slashed 50% of their workforce, right, Jason?
Yeah. They're not even having this.
Interestingly, they always slash people from the division that are in charge of taxing corporations, not people. That's no.
Well, and now
corporations are people too. Sohum.
At what point does the executive lose his power to do what he thinks he's going to do, and Congress has to step in? We're about to watch that dynamic get clarified here.
That is true. We are going to watch that dynamic, and I think ultimately, I think the executive branch is probably going to actually gain some power that it didn't realize it had in the past. Ultimately, when it's all comes said and done,
doesn't actually have, according to our fucking Constitution.
Actually, if you read the Constitution, it actually does. Sohum, you just have to read it correctly.
I did read it, and it doesn't. So, and I read it correctly. So don't tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I'm telling Sohum he doesn't, Dale.
And I'm telling you, Jason, this is a very slippery slope, because the executive order, the executive authority that the current administration is trying to assert will carry into the next administration. And when it's a Democrat that you don't like, and they're using executive pen to do a ton of shit that you don't like, then suddenly you're going to be like, oh, they're overstepping, and this is a violation of the constitutional power.
But see, but when
blah, blah, blah.
When the Democrats do it, they're going to have another fall guy in there like Biden, and it'll be an auto pen, so it'll be totally ruled irrelevant. So
I don't even know what you were trying to say with that. But
you don't know about the auto pen? You guys don't know about the auto pen? All the Biden signatures were all done with the auto pen. They're saying that none of those orders are legal or binding because he didn't actually sign them.
Who's they that you're talking
Twitter.
about?
It's Twitter.
Streets are saying
there is no Twitter anymore.
It's Doge. Doge told him that.
Yeah, the Doge one.
And if you want to talk about signatures, what the fuck is Donald Trump's signature, man? His name is never signed on any of those documents. Like he just goes.
I literally watch him sign all kinds of documents. I literally watch him sign documents every day.
Signature.
Well, fair enough, you guys. We're rolling into our next commercial. We are going to be right back.
I'm Cole Preston, and today I'm at Blue Island Beer Company for the premiere of my mini documentary on legalization policy in Illinois. I've been following cannabis policy since colorful Colorado legalized it all the way back in the day, and when my home state of Illinois decided to legalize it, I just became enamored. I wondered, what would it actually look like? If you'd like to see how Illinois fell short in achieving meaningful reform in their cannabis policy, you can watch my mini doc now at colememo.com/minidoc.
And we are back, you guys. Stop whatever you're doing. Make sure you smash that like button. I know we'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it, and YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.highat9news.com. And we're going to play a little video, a little sneak peek for a story that Dale is going to cover tomorrow, you guys. Oh man, I can't wait for you guys to see this. Go for it, Anthony. There we go.
What's going on?
Oh, he's setting it up. I thought it was ready. That's my bad. But he's putting it in. He's getting ready to play it. I'm sorry. Sorry for the delay.
We're edging
guys.
here.
Well, while we wait,
we're edging over here.
We have a super chat, so we can.
Oh yes, we did. You are right, Jenny Beth. Would you like to read that super chat?
Yes, thank you, the suitors. Every time Jason interrupts Jenny, an indoor plant turns male.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
cute,
indeed.
Cute.
It's Jason and the Republicans' favorite thing.
Yeah, Jason Beck is over here trying to erase black voices. You know how that goes, Jenny Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Are we supposed to be able to hear?
Yeah, that's, we're not hearing anything, Anthony.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. It's a browser. You got to download the video in order for us to watch it on the show.
Well, I mean, you should have downloaded it then beforehand. That's why I sent you the thing. But whatever. All right. Well, never mind. We're gonna keep this thing. We're gonna keep this thing moving on into our next commercial, and we are gonna be right back. But we are gonna be covering this story tomorrow.
I just ordered the summertime strawberry salad when added steak on top here at Anna's. Make sure you do the same thing too next time you're in downtown Long Beach. Come on down and check out Anna's Joint on the 400 block of Pine Street. They have amazing selection of beers, foods, and when you come down here to Anna's, you can even challenge me to a game of shuffleboard if you want to lose. Did you get that? So, next time you're in downtown Long Beach on Pine Avenue, make sure you stop by Anna's Joint on the 400 block. Not only do they have Anna's Joint, this restaurant and bar, but they also have the amazing deli next door, and then next door to that they have a very exotic flower shop. You may want to stop by and say hi.
And we are back, you guys.
Oh, yeah. Straight out the ATX is the man who's next. He's got over a decade of cannabis technology experience and recently moved down to Austin, where he is breaking us off with truth every single week. Not the truths that Jason Beck is talking about, actual hard-hitting facts that you can look up and have a trail of data. Sohum Shah, what do you got for us today, my brother?
Thank you, Rico. Yep, that's right. I'm in the ATX, but today my story is out of the ATL. Because Atlanta's decriminalization of marijuana led to a reduction in violent crime, a new research shows. And this was originally reported by Ben Adlin at Marijuana Moment. A new study on Atlanta's move to decriminalize marijuana concludes that, contrary to warnings for some critics, the policy change in fact led to a decrease in violent crime as police turned their attention to more urgent matters. Almost like we learned this in every other state going back 30 years. The research looks at crimes surrounding the city's 2017 reduction of penalties around the simple possession of cannabis. Prior to the change, possession of up to an ounce of marijuana was punishable by up to a year in jail and $1,500 fine. After that, that fell to a maximum $75 fine, civil fine with no possibility of jail time. While some warned that loosening penalties would lead to a rise in crime rates, researchers observed the opposite. Quote, "Our findings suggest that decriminalization led to a reduction in violent crime, likely due to police reallocating resources from marijuana enforcement to violent crime prevention," the new report says. To arrive at that conclusion, authors examined agency-level crime data from 2015 to 2018 from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI's Uniform Crime Reports, which included information from nearly all Georgia cities with populations over 25,000. Then they compared crime rates between Atlanta and other control cities that did not decriminalize marijuana. Relative to those control cities, the estimated effect of decriminalization in Atlanta was about 20 fewer violent crimes per 100,000 people per month, the analysis found. That's a 19.7% reduction from the pre-decrim average. Our analysis finds that violent crime in Atlanta declined relative to control agencies following marijuana decriminalization, with results robust to alternative estimation methods, event studies, and placebo tests, the report concludes. Our estimates suggest that decriminalization led to a 20% reduction in violent crime rates relative to pre-policy levels. The paper says the findings align with claims from the Atlanta Police Department shortly after decriminalization that offers would focus on violent crimes and crimes that truly affect people, things that endanger lives. Quote, "We want to fill jails with armed robbers, rapists, burglars, home invaders. We do not want to fill the jails with pot smokers. That's the bottom line," APD Public Affairs Director Carlos Campos said at the time. Atlanta's decrease in violent crime, the study's authors noted, aligned with APD's stated policy shift as department leaders emphasize reallocating resources to violent crime enforcement. You can read more on the website about the report, and you can get a link to the report and read some more quotes from some officials down in Atlanta if you'd like. But that is what I got for you. This is Sohum reporting about the ATL from Jason Beck's favorite city, the ATX, where South by Southwest is currently in action. Let's kick it back to the rest of the team and see what everyone has to say.
The great city of Austin, Texas. Sohum. Can't believe you guys always disrespect your city like that.
ATX.
But Atlanta, man, this is a big deal. This is huge news.
Who would have thought more weed and motherfuckers just chill out?
Exactly, and they haven't even really enacted like legalization there in the sense. So once they do that, the crime rates are going to drop even more, I would imagine.
Well, so cannabis
as long as you're not making a music video with Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying?
I knew it was a joke. I should have gone ahead with my very valid point.
Go for it, Jenny.
Yeah, so cannabis's value has always been linked to its prohibition, right? And so Atlanta was one of the places where you could still very much get shot over a fucking bad deal. And there's a lot of places like that. So I think as you start to decriminalize, start to lessen the risk, the reward goes down, right? Mm-hmm. So like it's not a $5,000 pound anymore. It's probably like a $900 pound. And I'm probably less likely to shoot you behind a $900 pound.
That's a fair point too.
I think that's definitely one of it. The other part of it too is, I mean, I guess it's not fully, you know, they still have some discretion there, right, during enforcement, so they can probably still use the smell as a
for sure, 100%
to execute a search.
Yeah,
but it's moving in the right direction. I think this though is encouraging because it reminds me of, I want to say it was 2006 in Denver, when Denver police were the ones that were pushing a decriminalization bill through city council as well, and they were saying it for the same reason, as they wanted a reason given to them by city council to reallocate their resources and stop focusing on enforcement of cannabis use. And we saw how that played out in Colorado. So, I think this is kind of encouraging for potentially what could happen in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also understand APD is fucking busy. Atlanta has they're needing to upgrade infrastructure. They're looking at the potential of rolling blackouts and things because Atlanta has grown way bigger than they had ever designed the city to become. So that puts strains on things like APD, who would rather not be arresting you for an ounce of weed.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's very, very, very fair. I mean, it's a trip because people like Dale and out there in the state of Georgia are going to have less work. And it looks like we lost Dale.
I think Dale might be gone, but
he's trying to come back.
Yeah.
I'll speak for him because I guarantee you Dale would rather have fewer criminal defense clients. That means that less people are getting arrested for bullshit nonviolent cannabis.
I think I could agree with that. I think I could agree with that. Dale would probably say something like that in relation to. I think that's fair.
Yep.
But overall, I think this is good news. Some good news we've been covering out of Georgia this week. You know what I mean? They're
How about
expanding.
That? We finally got a good news story. It's been we had a drought for a week or two, huh?
Well, I mean, in all fairness, the next two stories are not good news anyway.
Yeah,
Rico,
that's not good news at all. That's definitely not good news. So,
but
it's good while it lasted. Nice little pop.
Yeah.
So if it,
nice little tease there.
It moves into a position where it's not charging,
and we are going to roll right into our next commercial, and we're going to be right back.
Looking at
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, my left one, and I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade, and in a GMP certified facility. So you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where I'm even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Tested. It's not a name, it's a promise.
I hear you.
Check. Cameron out. Dale.
Oh, excuse me. Rico, you want to introduce Jenny Beth?
Oh shit! You tell me that right before.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible.
I got it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. See, this is why they come up as the same, Jenny Beth. I gotta go with the canned ones. Usually, when I know who I'm introducing, I have something new for you. But
if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready, Rico.
All right.
In this age of Trump, nobody's ready.
It's because he moves too fast for you guys.
Yeah, because he always has the runs. Mm-hmm. But anyway. Up next, the melanated, highly opinionated, slightly to the right, in the studio today is none other than the very lovely founder of Kind Cannabis Consulting and Justice Served 501c3, here to break us off with another hard-hitting story, which may or may not be good news. Is Jenny Beth Dills. What you got for us today, Jenny Beth? What you got?
It's not good news. It's not good news. Okay, so quick little history lesson. If you guys understand how things work over in the Netherlands, the red light district, the coffee shops in Amsterdam have long been thought to be just, willy-nilly and free reign, and they're cool with everything. They are not. The queen was much more progressive than the king, and if you look up VidePass, you can figure out kind of how that went down. And I won't give you a full history lesson right now, but big changes are coming to coffee shops in the Netherlands starting April 7th, 2025. Only legally cultivated cannabis from approved suppliers will be allowed for sale. This marks the next phase of the Netherlands' bold experiment to replace its long-standing tolerated gray market system with a fully legal supply chain. But the experiment is hitting some major roadblocks. Coffee shop owners are sounding the alarm about supply shortages and inconsistent product quality. Of the 10 original licensed producers, only 6 can meet delivery demands. That means fewer options for customers, and when choices dry up, the risk is that people will turn back to the black market. Local leaders are worried too. Mayor Paul Dipla of Breda and Theo Witterings of Tilburg were urging the government to delay the rollout, warning the rushing forward could collapse the system they've worked hard to build. Dipla says if there's not good supply, we have a serious problem. People will start buying on the street, and that is the worst thing that can happen. There's also growing political tension. While the project started with broad political support, the backing is now wavering. Only the VVD party continues to stand firmly behind the experiment, while others, including conservative and anti-drug groups, are pushing back. Critics are arguing that legalizing cannabis won't solve problems and could even worsen them by encouraging illegal trade. Originally, this transition phase, was supposed to end in September 2024, but delays have already pushed it to April 2025. And if legal production doesn't ramp up soon, more delays or even a complete shutdown of the experiment could follow. So what's next? As the Dutch government faces a critical decision: act swiftly to stabilize the legal market supply, or risk the entire experiment collapsing and unintentionally strengthening the black market they are trying to eliminate. So you think everything in Amsterdam is all willy-nilly and legal. It is not. And this is kind of a big deal, guys, because I don't know if you've been, but they need a little more than 6 producers to supply what they need. So we'll see what happens, and I'll throw it back to you guys. But I told you, not happy.
This is going to be a big hit for the trap market right now with this.
Yep.
Big hit for the trap market, and I guess it's good that it's not kicking in until April, because everyone's out there in Europe right now for Cannabis, and this is part of their busy season right now.
Yeah, well, they don't give a fuck about that. I mean, let's be real. You're not even supposed to grow with artificial light in the Netherlands. You have to use the Dutch sun, and for those of you that don't know, there's not a whole lot of Dutch sun. So it's there's a lot of really interesting things, like concentrates, you're not supposed to be dabbing there, like a lot. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how this happens. I don't know. Cannabis is clearly we Americans,
but they're known for their flowers. They're known for their flowers out there in the Netherlands, Jenny Beth. Like, would you say that they got it down pat? They said that the artificial lights don't produce the best of flowers, right?
Those are grown in greenhouses. Those are grown in big glass greenhouses. But
no, the ones outdoors. You've seen like all those huge farms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
they have the Tulip Festival.
There are plants that don't require full sun. So there's also that.
Yeah, those auto flowers.
No, we're not talking about. Well, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Is going to win once again, guys.
Yep.
I mean, this is the dynamic we face here. If you try to bring in too tightly regulated a market without a good supply that people want, around the corner somebody with some, temple balls or some decent flour from North Africa, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a setup, and you just wonder: are you guys not paying attention? What's going on around the world?
Yep.
The trap's there. Mm-hmm. If you don't make it so that the legal market can really flourish, trap's just going to fill in the gap.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't rocket science.
So right. Nick Bradley in the chat, he says, I spoke to 2 coffee shop owners yesterday that said this is a non-issue and it will be business as usual. So it doesn't sound like the coffee shops are going to listen to the law in the first place. Even if it goes into effect, they're just going to remain outlaws. Mm-hmm. We'll see if they get their business licenses revoked.
It's like kind of like Gavin Newsom and these hemp rules, right?
Mm-hmm. A lot of things.
All talk.
A lot of things going on in the Netherlands because yesterday they had the first vote in Greenland about succeeding from Denmark from the Netherlands.
If they secede, they still don't want to be part of Donald Trump. I
don't know.
Bullshit,
I don't know. They had the first vote as far as like the first step in the act of going through that type of a process. So we'll see what happens. We'll stay tuned.
Nobody wants to join a bunch of fucking chaos. That's what America is right now.
Stop it.
I can see. You know what? You can be open-minded about shit like that. If he didn't just start like talking shit and tearing other people down, like why would you want to join a bunch of chaotic bullshit? There's ways about going about shit diplomatically, and
Mm-hmm.
Trump is just not. He does not have the gift of gab when it comes to words.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about all that, but that's cute. Jenny's rolling her eyes.
Yeah, the market does. Yeah, the stock market knows about that.
Stock markets, they go up and down, bro. They're like teeter-totters.
We wobbles, if you will.
Till they crash. Oh, man, man.
Spoot Holly, guys. Spoot Holly just pushed it over the edge.
Spoot and Holly, huh?
Yeah.
Is that Dutch?
You know about that. Like Sykes-Picot in Middle East. Spoot Holly.
Got you. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna
use the Google machine.
Jason. I see what he was doing there. I see what he's doing there now. Nonetheless, we're going to roll into our final story of the day today, you guys, because North Carolina, P.D. Pablo's going to have a problem with this, Rico. I hope you're ready for this, because lawmakers look to crack down on psychoactive hemp products, you guys. That's right. Changes may be coming soon to North Carolina's booming hemp industry, which has thrived in recent years thanks to the state's lack of restrictions, oversight, and safety standards for intoxicating weed-like products. North Carolina remains one of just a handful of states where marijuana, or medical or not, remains illegal. And at the same time, it's among the most lenient for its regulation of products extracted from hemp, some of which can provide a weed-like high, they say. That lack of regulation has given way to a situation in which anything goes, they say. Dispensaries, bars, bottle shops, I don't know what a bottle shop is, restaurants, and even pizzerias across the state can sell an array of intoxicating products without age restrictions. If a hemp bill filed on Tuesday becomes law, it will transform the state's hemp industry, which has largely remained unchecked since 2022. That year, the General Assembly passed legislation bringing the state in line with federal regulations on hemp, declassifying it as a controlled substance so long as the dry weight product contains less than 0.3% THC of the psychoactive component of marijuana. That's right, you guys. State Senator Todd Johnson, Danny Britt, and Michael Lazzara filed a 16-page bill on Tuesday that would crack down on the manufacturing, sale, and distribution of hemp. The legislation would make it illegal for stores to sell consumable hemp-derived products to anyone 21 and over, for anyone 21 to possess the products, and additionally, the products would be prohibited on school grounds. The bill would also require licenses for hemp manufacturers, distributors, and sellers, and it would mandate that manufacturers test the products for heavy metals, pesticides, and other toxic substances. Among the states that are considering hemp legislation, North Carolina's bill is one of the best, if not the very best, hemp bills in the country, cannabis advocate and business law attorney Rod Kite told Axios by email. And shout out to Rod Kite, because he is actually out there in the great state of North Carolina as well. In a quote, he says, "It supports the state's existing hemp industry while also creating appropriate guardrails to prevent minors from accessing hemp products, mandating safety standards, and requiring specific labeling and marketing information so that adults can make informed decisions about the hemp products that they choose to purchase and use." House Rules Chairman Representative John Bell, who is the president of CBD and hemp manufacturers Asteria Labs, has been involved in discussions about the legislation. And Bell attributes the involvement to the fact that he is the only person in the industry in the state legislature. However, he wasn't familiar with the details of the final version of the bill, he told Axios. And Asteria has a pharmaceutical-grade clean facility where you can eat off the floor, Bell told WUNC last year, but it's competing in the same market space as the guy who's making it in their backyard, he says. The Senate's proposal this year could put those backyard manufacturer types of businesses, as it would ban home-based manufacturing. And Bell argues that though there aren't many companies in the state doing what Asteria does, the legislation won't necessarily be a slam dunk for his company. New licensing fees would cost Asteria money and require changes to how it's packages and products, for example. And still, Bell said he'll seek an advisory opinion from the State Ethics Commission, which gives advice to legislators and other public servants on issues including conflicts of interest. As of now, the state has no limits on cannabinoids with psychoactive effects, much like those of THC, such as Delta-8, which is often seen in products on shelves across the triangle. And and THCO, HHC, THCA, Delta 7, and Delta 10, they also mentioned. The cannabis plant has more than 100 cannabinoids, and some of them are psychoactive, while others like CBD are not. And the Senate's proposal would set dosage limits for a handful of cannabinoids, Delta 7, Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, but would not set limits on other psychoactive cannabinoids. For edible products like gummies, a serving could not contain more than 75 milligrams of Delta 7, Delta 8, or Delta 9, and Delta 10. Liquid products like drinks could not have more than 25 milligrams per serving. And in a quote, North Carolina is widely perceived to be the best hemp state in the country due to its long history with hemp and also its support for the hemp industry, Rod told Axios. And over the years, the state's hemp-friendly laws and overall pro-hemp environment have resulted in North Carolina being the home base for many of the world's top companies, he wrote in a blog post on Tuesday after senators filed the bill. In 2023, University of North Carolina School of Government professor Phil Dixon told WFAE the hemp market in the state was the wild, wild west. And since then, the industry has only grown, and hemp-derived edibles, drinks, and joints with psychoactive effects are in some of Raleigh's favorite restaurants, bottle shops, and stores. If anything, we are more in the Wild West than we are in 23, Dixon told Axios. Well, seems like there might be some changes coming to North Carolina, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this, and I wonder if P.D. Pablo is as excited.
I don't think P.D. Pablo
it sounds like common sense regulation, and it sounds like they should just make it the same way for cannabis, for THC too, and don't have to deal with all this hemp that's scaring all the children and harming all the children and scaring all the parents off.
What the hell is a bottle shop, Rico?
It's a liquor store, Jason.
Why don't they just say liquor store then?
Because it's a state bottle shop.
Oh, that's what the state calls them. Got it. Okay. All right.
Not every state allows liquor licenses in every, stop and rob on the corner.
Yeah. No. I understand that. I understand that. Okay.
Yeah, Virginia. Yeah, Virginia. We got ABC stores.
As Alabama.
And
what happens here, guys? It's like we all understand that when you scratch and sniff at the safety of these cannabis products, the question is, why has everybody got their panties in such a knot about this? Okay. And there is no good answer other than my mommy said this was bad. It's going to ruin Western civilization. So I got to be opposed to it. And if you try to put your finger on it, it's like putting your finger on a bead of mercury. Just the trap goes, yeah, fuck you. People want this stuff. It's safer than alcohol and tobacco. Let's just repeat that. It's safer than alcohol and tobacco. And at some point, the government's got to go, okay, we give up trying to stop this. Let's work with people because it's safer than throwing you in prison. It doesn't work. And we get our head out of our ass, and hopefully they will. And if they have an open market and you can produce Delta 9 naturally, nobody's going to want Delta 8 or HCO because you can make it cheaper, it's more economical, and it's the real deal. It'll take care of all these problems, but we're just not there yet.
I agree with that analysis, Dale. The C-word threw in another super chat who says, hempcrete weirds me out. No plant should be that fireproof, he says.
At this point, it's just expensive insulation because it's not weight bearing and load bearing. So
fair enough. And and it has to clear a lot of business regulations, or not business regulations, but building regulators to be used as an appropriate construction substance material. So, but nonetheless, you have any thoughts on this North Carolina-ness, Rico?
Yeah, I got a thought on that hempcrete comment, man. We could use some of that hempcrete here in California. People's houses and shit will stop burning down. But you know what? It goes back to the lumber subsidies and the concrete subsidies. And so we'll never have that. They're just going to keep on burning. And we're going to keep on having Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris fucking shit up. Some stuff just makes too much sense.
Your claim, right?
Yeah. If California were to vote in Kamala Harris, that would be probably like the biggest joke of all time for the state.
If we only had a solution.
What's that, Jenny?
I was about to make a very inappropriate comment about the only way Kamala Harris could be governor. So
I'm
going to keep that one in my mouth, much like her.
I really, really, really would not mind voting for a Republican governor here if they weren't so trash. The people that y'all put up are just garbage human beings. Jason, what the fuck? We get some normal.
Yeah,
people?
we're gonna have some for you, Rico. Just stay tuned and stay ahead.
We are ripe for change, but Larry Elder ain't it, bruh. Like, what the fuck is that?
I like Larry.
Come on, man.
We were at his election night event, Jason, remember?
Nobody else likes him. That's the problem.
Well, there was an open bar at that one.
Well, that was important. I think a lot of people do like him. They're just, you know what I'm saying? They get bullied by all these Democrats.
Larry Elder's the dude that got out the hood and wants to talk shit about everybody who didn't.
I think it's tough because I think there's a difference between liking somebody and agreeing with their ideals and feeling like they're going to be appropriate leadership. And I think he just wasn't able to convert that agreement into confidence from the voting public.
I would like to challenge that. I would challenge that notion, Jenny Beth, because there's a ton of people who say there's the exact opposite about Donald Trump. They said they hate the person, they like the ideas, and then you have a bunch of people who voted for him. And they said they hate his ideas. But you know what? Well, he gets it. He talks like us.
We'll see. We'll see. We are.
Yeah, Americans don't know what they want.
We are pushing for voter ID out here in the great state of California, and so we'll see if we're able to get that, because I don't think we're going to have a free and fair election in California until we actually do.
You said we as in the Republicans?
We as in patriots that want free and fair elections in the state of California.
As in Republicans?
No, there's Democrats involved too.
As in Republicans.
You ready to go, Rico?
I'm sorry. I didn't have to get ready. I didn't have to get ready, man.
I love it.
Thank you all for joining us for another episode of High 9 News. You can catch us live weekdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to the super fans getting their comments posted. We had a bunch today, man.
Yeah, the C word. Shout out to the C word.
You get a Wagyu au jus today.
It's been a great week for super chats.
It was the suitors actually that said
the suitors.
Yeah.
The C word did too. The C word, the Suitors music, and we had another one too. It was Ema Daughter.
It was Anna.
Yeah. We had 3.
Anna. Oh yes, and Anna, Miss Anna Lewis. Yes.
And Anna's was actually, we didn't read it. It said, "Don't fuck with my man's money because you're fucking with my money."
Yeah.
Yeah. Your money is her money.
And make sure you tune in tomorrow, because Dale is going to cover that whole story, this new lawsuit between Trulieve and Catalyst, and we got all the documents, so Dale is going to have a fantastic story about that tomorrow.
There's the teaser, folks. Tune in with this ugly old dude who's going to talk shit about everybody.
Yep. Dale's gonna be talking about sandpaper condoms.
Oh boy.
Oh my God. Anyways, big love to the rest of our lives.
In-facing or out-facing.
Yeah.
However they want it, Dale. However they want it.
I thought that was a belly button. Anyway.
Oh boy.
Big love to the rest of our live audience and online supporters catching us across all media platforms, tuning in each day to the headlines of chaos, also known as the development cannabis industry. Our vetted correspondent team tuning in from all over. Yeah, bringing us much needed variety of perspective and your respective opinions to the table. Our production team, Cloud Media Partners, all the sponsors keeping the lights on. AV struggles to a minimum. My man Anthony doing the damn thing. Back. Thank you, my brother. You are doing God's work. As always, Cannabis Sativa L, the reason why we show up to read these headlines every single day. Thank you, too. It has been a Wednesday, March 12th. 2025. The show's over. You've all been blessed with the top industry headlines. Hope it's enough for you to put in your pipe and smoke at least until tomorrow. Hoping I ain't got no ash on my hands. It's kind of cold out here on this rooftop. But my name is Rico Lamitte, dopest dad on the street for High 9 News, cannabis industry's #1 daily news show. Pop this thing on out to Dale, Uncle Dale, Tio Loco, man. You got some good news for these people.
As the shit continues to swirl, just remember, I'm a veteran, and I'm shouting out the veteran. Don't forget us. We stuck our ass on the line, and don't forget us, because we need help out there. And as this thing starts to swirl more, just keep us in your mind, because there's a lot of them suffering. 20 plus a day still kill themselves. A lot of things going on, so keep us in mind. Okay?
Yes. New York smells like weed.
There we go.